Hopefully it'll start up.
All good. All
There
good.
go.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully, I think that our hopefully pretty soon a lot of internal conflicts with the MAGA movement will cool out. There's a whole lot going on. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Candace. I don't dislike any of it. And I think that we're actually gaining gaining people in the MAGA movement, and I think it's going to continue to happen all the time. So just remember, when you're hearing, hey, this is MAGA movement, this MAGA movement, that, just remember who owns all the media and who is who controls the media, who claims this and who claims that. So just watch out.
Absolutely. Crazy little night here in D.C. Everyone's been paying close attention. If you look at the porch there, you'll notice all kinds of, they've got some type of, either that's a security type of deal where they're searching people going into the White House because they're probably having White House tours. Well, no, but I remember seeing this contraption back in 2020, which was
where were you looking at? Where are you looking at on there?
You see where? Right there.
Okay.
Right there, that little area. This is kind of taking a life of its own, but I can't believe it gave me a close up. Thank you, whoever's controlling this camera, and then whoever this is.
Oh, you didn't do that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's crazy. That's a drill. How did that happen?
I don't know. Perfect timing. But look at that. I mean, what's going on with that? All that stuff right there. That's what I'm looking at. Look, this guy's got a big old backpack going up in there. What's that all about?
I don't know, but how the heck did that happen just then, man? If you just said it, I was like, what the heck? When you said
that's probably the best close-up we've had in about 2 years right now doing this night after night. Look at this.
I'm going to ask him another question.
There you go. Look, now it goes back to normal. See, there you go.
Okay, that's crazy.
Cool. Yeah, they're listening. Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. That's funny. That's really funny, actually.
And you talk about the all-seeing eye. They're seeing and hearing everything, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. So you got a Georgia inmate that has escaped from Grady Hospital, steals a SUV and a gun, deputies say. This is in Rockdale County, and they're saying he escaped from Grady Memorial Hospital after a suicide attempt. Escaped custody early as Monday is now focused on a multi-agency manhunt, according to Rockdale County. This is Timothy Shane was transported to Grady around 8 p.m. on November 30th for a medical examination. That looks like the guy that was hitchhiking when I went past him. He tried to take his own life just hours later at roughly 1:20 a.m. On Monday, officials said Shane ran from the hospital while in the deputy's custody. And according to the sheriff's office, Shane fled the area on foot, stole an SUV, parked nearby. Shortly after driving off, he crashed the vehicle and took off again. The SUV's owner reported a Glock handgun missing from inside the vehicle. Dang. So, watch out for that dude. Kind of crazy. You ready for the blizzard that's coming in?
I've been hearing about something's coming. I don't keep up with the weather as much as I probably should.
So you know how it is for us here in Middle Tennessee. It's kind of hit or miss. Either we get ice or we get ice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll never forget your driveway.
Right.
Is when it comes down to snowing and ice, it is a mission. If you're in a vehicle, it's a mission getting up your freaking driveway. I had to go straddle it one year, I recall, and you had to come help me and try to pull my car out of the dadgum ditch because it was just so jacked up. But you get up there fine with your four-wheel drive, so you all right.
Yeah, I never have really had a problem. Up there at the very top, I kind of go off to the left, and when I start feeling that, I just freaking gun it and say, here we go. Here we come. I'm going up this hill.
So this is what they're saying. Wow, they're saying sub-zero temperatures possible for Montana, the Dakotas, and Minnesota. Minnesota on that. So it's
So, but
coming in.
do you know if it's supposed to come this way or what?
Yeah, we've got some weather coming down here at the bottom that's coming up, and all that green is participation. Man, I feel like a weatherman here, but yeah, that's what's happening. We know that between the Cumberland Plateau and over, they're going to get hit pretty hard, but we'll see how that all plans out. But yeah, that's what they're anticipating is some snow coming up our way. But you can see the repeat offenders where they normally get snow, they're getting a lot. We showed earlier today on the show there was a pile up on I-70 in Indiana, and it was like worth probably, I don't know, $10 million in damage in vehicles. Wow. Yeah, it was a lot. So, but everyone, please be safe. Bundle up. Make sure that you have the right clothes on. If you get broken down, just make sure you got some coats and some stuff around you to keep you warm, just in case. You never know.
Yeah, I'd say if anybody's gonna go anywhere and all that stuff, man, just put some stuff.
There it is. That's the one right there. There's all that craziness that happened in Indiana. There it is.
When I was in college, I was headed back to school at MTSU, and I was just traveling down the road, and all of a sudden, you couldn't see much in front of you, and I wasn't going that fast, but there wasn't any stopping. And I mean, everybody in front of me started doing that, and I just went right through the middle of them. I never put on my brakes. Because you put on your brakes, that's all she wrote. You got to go through it. You got to gas to get out of the way of something. You don't brake to get out of the way of something in mud or freaking snow. You got to get out of it with freaking putting that pedal down.
That's crazy. Look at that, man. Whew. Well, those SUVs don't have a chance, man. It's liable to tip that thing over.
Right.
You ever remember those videos that you'd watch? And there's be people in the middle, like median, and just watching these cars just hit each other. And
that's what happened exactly to me on my way back to Murfreesboro. There were, I don't know if you had heard about it. You was in high school at that time, but yeah, there was like 120 cars just all slammed there, and yeah, it was freaking terrible.
That's crazy.
And I went right through the freaking middle of it, man. Like, well, okay, here I go.
That's cray. And let's see here what else we got. NC, North Carolina registered non-citizens to vote. This is getting a little crazy here. Check this out.
I wasn't surprised. I'm glad to see the U.S. Attorney in the Western District, Russ Ferguson, taking a hard look at this. There's a book, a friend of mine, Lieutenant Colonel Jay Delancey, wrote a book called Aliens Among Us, outlining massive voter fraud in North Carolina. And a lot of it centers around all this motor voter stuff by the DMV. For years, we've heard reports of DMV employees pushing folks to register Democrats. But part of the problem is when you give driver's license to non-citizens, we're getting a lot of hanky-panky going on, whether those non-citizens are being registered with the system, or when they come back in to renew their license, they're able to re-register without proving citizenship. And as far as I'm concerned, this motor voter thing with the DMV's got to stop. Why would you go into the DMV to register to vote? I wouldn't go into the Department of Elections to try to get a driver's license. It's just it's been a disaster, and I'm hoping that the Justice Department will help to shut it down.
It seems to me that it's pretty standard procedure when you go into the driver's license office, the DMV in just about every state. They ask you a question: would you like to vote? Would you like to register? I guess in some respects it's okay you ask the question, but the problem is I don't think there's a state in America that's checking the answers to the questions of whether or not people are eligible or not, Don.
Yeah, I think you're correct. There's virtually zero enforcement. And as I say, why would you use DMV to register people to vote anyway? I wouldn't go into the Board of Elections and ask for a driver's license. Why would you do that? I mean, if you're going to vote, get some responsibility and go to the Board of Elections, prove citizenship, and register. And so it has created the situation for colossal fraud, which of course happens to help only the Democrats, and it's got to come to an end.
All right, so some good news to report. North Carolina State Board of Elections now says they will use a federal database that is used to verify immigration status of people on voter rolls. Many states like California are refusing to do this. The fact that North Carolina says it will utilize this, do you believe them? Is it lip service? What do you think?
Well, I'm optimistic because the State Board of Elections now, for the first time in many, many years, is controlled by Republicans. That's just happened. We have an outstanding new state auditor, Dave Bullock, who came into office in January and is conducting an aggressive audit of the past shenanigans of the State Board of Elections, and there have been a lot of shenanigans. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I think time will tell, but I think we're moving in the right direction in North Carolina. My concern is how many illegals we have who are registered now to vote, how much damage they're going to do in the primary coming in March, and how much damage are they going to do in the general election in November. And of course, these illegals are being brought here by the Democrats to these non-citizens that even are able to try to vote, not supposed to be able to vote, are being brought here to help Democrat candidates. So while we're moving in the right direction, we've got to be very, very aggressive in cleaning the voter rolls, more aggressive than we have been.
Look, we've had a year since the last election, 5 years since the election before that where we had all the problems. It's amazing to me to think that North Carolina has a primary in March, and here we are just a few months out still figuring out these same problems again, Don.
Got to get aggressive. We've got to get aggressive about it. We've got to get serious about it. And we've got to deal with this legal and illegal immigration problem to try to make sure that only citizens vote. And we got to only count American citizens in the census. I'm going to push for a Citizenship Census Act when I get in the United States Senate so that we don't have overbloated counts, which only help these blue states. Only American citizens should be counted in the census.
100%.
Yeah, but at first in that clip, it kind of seemed like they were acting like, oh, somebody just messed up. Somebody just messed up. That's what gets on my nerves, acting like, oh, somebody messed up. No, it was all on purpose. It was all a freaking seditious act is what it is, So, it's that kind of will drive you a little crazy. Now, one of them was a JAG officer. By the way, JAG, if you hear about JAG, they probably will be associated with Gitmo and Nuremberg 2 trials. JAG officers, when you hear about that.
What's your thoughts on this whole Hakeem Jeffries, where he's talking about declaring that everyone working to implement President Trump's agenda is a criminal who would be put in jail? He said the statute of limitations for any crimes being committed now is 5 years. It's kind of crazy.
Unless it is a conspiracy or something like that. So RICO charges, that goes back, that continues to go back. And that's what they're doing.
One thing that should be clear to all of these Republican extremists and sycophants and the people who are either actively involved in corruption, violating the law, engaged in extrajudicial activity, is that the statute of limitations for any crimes being committed now 5 years. It will extend well beyond the end of the Trump administration.
He's trying to scare some people out of doing so. He's trying to Tina Peters some folks.
Yep.
That's all right. That little blur's going down.
What about Alan Dershowitz? He's coming out here. He's saying it's happening. He's saying Epstein's former lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, puts his hand to God and swears he knows that documents are being suppressed to protect individuals pertaining to Epstein. And he knows who is doing the suppressing. I'm here to tell you right now, it's not Trump. These people have been protected long before Trump showed up or any of his appointees. Dershowitz comments here back up the position of Trump, FBI/DOJ, that they are still looking for documents and that many are protected under a court order. People are right that a cover-up is happening, but it's not Bondi or Cash or Bongino doing the cover-up. The cover-up already happened. And the Trump loyalists are trying to get to the bottom of it.
Hey, that's what I've been saying.
There you go.
You know, I look at it as the old administration, before they left, they took all the files in, let's say, a big, huge room as big as a football field, and took all those files and just started throwing them in the air, just throwing them everywhere. And our group came in there, and they've still got 1,500 different positions that hadn't been filled because of everything that's going on. So, you know, right now we're waiting on a national emergency, and the RICO stuff, you know, conspiracy. So we're all right. It's coming.
Did you hear about this with Candace Owens, where she actually contacted or reached out to the FBI? She's claiming that the FBI has ignored her and stayed silent on her request that she was contracted them with information in regards to Macron family plotting to assassinate her. She claims the White House's only acknowledgement was confirming that the information she sent is now on President Trump's desk. She adds that even local FBI offices in Utah did not reach out to her about her concerns. Check this out.
The only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say, I did not at all hear back from the FBI on the American side. I did hear back from the counterterrorism unit. I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk, me saying that I had the information. I guess he didn't want to inquire further, which is interesting. But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that. But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message. No response. Now, I thought that the claim of the French Foreign Legion being involved in Charlie's assassination, I thought the FBI might be interested. No phone calls even from Utah's FBI branch have come into me either. Wouldn't you want to see? Aren't we supposed to be investigating the Charlie Kirk assassination? It was totally not a state operation, and they really want to get to the truth, which explains why nobody called. No, Utah, not interested. I'm actually surprised Tyler Robinson's lawyer hasn't reached out to me. What's going on here? No, we've got to protect the patsy, right? We've got to protect the patsy in this situation.
It's all a long-standing global plot, man. It's all whoever you can call them, the Illuminati, you can call them the freaking cabal, whatever. You know, it's and then we have infiltrated stuff like that, and they're keeping quiet, but it's all in the background. In my opinion, it's things are being studied and things are happening in the background, almost like a different world in the background in some cases.
Hey, speaking of a different world, here's one of those transgenders or transformers. Check this out.
My brother, appreciate. What did I say? I was a man. Y'all said I was a man, so come outside. Come outside for real. Like, dead ass. Like, come outside. What we doing? I'm not understanding. Y'all was here.
Dang. That's some ugly how.
What's up with that?
I don't know, man. I don't talk to them people.
Hey, did you hear the latest about Hulk Hogan? What's going on with this since he died? They're claiming Ric Flair then stepped up. I know this is kind of side, but this is interesting. Ric Flair says what killed Hulk Hogan was street drugs. And he talked to Hulk Hogan the night before. And, of course, Hulk Hogan's wife, Sky, is claiming that it was bad information and not true, whatever. And Rick saying, well, I've known him since 1979. Been everywhere he's been. We talked to the day he died. I mean, there's obviously something. There's a cover-up going on as well, even with the Hulkster. It's sad to say, man, but.
When you say street drugs, you mean like pain-type drugs?
I'm assuming that's obviously, yeah, what he's referring to because the amount of surgeries that Hulk has had from. I mean, you put your body out there being a professional, wrestler, and God, he was what? It's early 70s, and
stuff takes a toll, man. You
Like
know,
52 surgeries or something crazy. I mean, something nuts.
yeah,
So,
yeah. You know, that stuff takes a toll. I mean, somebody who's lived his life. I'm surprised it lasted that long. You know.
true that. True that. That's kind of wild.
And there's going to be cover-ups. You know, there's going to be a consistent trail of cover-ups in everything that goes on, whether it's somebody covering up just anybody, you know, that, oh, they did this or they did that. That's why they died. You know, whether it be for reputation of a family, whether it be for their products continuing to sell, crazy stuff happening, you know, but, you know, there's evidence out there, but some people just don't want to bring that. So, you know,
Right.
You know, it is what it is. I think we know anybody in his position was talked to, was approached by crazy people. They might have even had some of these people under their wing for a long time. And some, in my opinion, said, hey, I'm going to try to make America great again. I better get on the right side because, first off, I ain't got that long to live, because he knew what his background was. And when he's gone to the doctor and things, they say, hey, you're a mess. He'd be like, I've got to get right with the Lord and Trump, you know. So.
Yeah, Jesse Waters just posted this saying that Trump just ordered U.S. warships to surround the narco state of Venezuela as the president holds a high-level meeting at the White House. He said, leave or else is Trump's final ultimatum to Maduro. The CIA-backed Seditious Six is fuming. They're against the war on drugs. Democrats are accusing Trump of war crimes, and they want rank and file military members to go to trial.
This is just part of what we had to do. You know, you can't let another country steal your election and let all this stuff out. They have been in our elections for so long. That's one of the big reasons that this is going on. We've got to stop this deal. You know, we've got to stop them. That's been going on since, what's his name? Chavez, Capo, whatever his name.
Capo, whatever his chap.
I can't remember exactly, but that's one of the big reasons we're there. You know, they've allowed. I mean, they put in power in our country the people that are in power. That's why we're going all through this, through elections, and they did it. Yeah, they did it through servers in Bolivia. I mean, in Serbia and Italy and all over the place. But you know, if you want to buy an election, you go to freaking Cuba, which equals Venezuela. If you want to buy terrorism, you go to Iran. If you want to buy you know, that's just the way it is, you know. So we're taking them out. We can't let them do that.
Yeah. Here is Venezuela's current airspace, which is kind of
it's all shut down, isn't it?
it looks funky. It looks real funky here. There you go. Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
you know, when we talked a long time, it's going to look like everybody's against us, you know?
yeah.
You know, this is going to be part of it, man. This is just part of what we are going to go through, whatever it looks like. And on the back end of this, you know, what do? Well, who's in control of Venezuela is Cuba, and China's in charge of them, and globalists are in charge of them. So all this stems back to that freaking eye in the sky, like I was saying earlier. So, you know, this is the Illuminati and the Council of Foreign Relations. So, you know, this is a long-standing freaking thing going on. This is just part of it, hitting them hard where they need to be hit. So,
remember that time they said we were crazy talking about DEWs, direct energy weapons, and all that craziness after when Nashville got hit? Well, here's what Israel has, and check this out.
The Iron Beam 450 is Israel's high-energy laser air defense system, designed to intercept rockets, drones, and mortars with pinpoint precision. Using a 100-kilowatt class beam, It offers rapid, low-cost, and operationally ready protection against short-range aerial threats. The Iron
Dang. That's great. Hey, did you see where Iran got attacked by Israel in some of their in Tel Aviv and everything
heard something
blowing
about
up
it.
in command centers and something crazy? Every time I grab it to share it, it disappears.
Yeah, and that's kind of a trip. That's kind of a trip that Israel's going to do that, right here during all this. But I guess maybe it's not. What I can't figure out is I look at Iran and I say that's deep state. That's freaking the nastiness, the globalists, and then Israel. It's like there's 4 or 5 teams of globalists, and they're still fighting each other for that highest part on the pyramid. They're still fighting each other for when all this is over. They think they're going to be the head dude. We'll see.
It is crazy. Crazy. So a lot of people, you said it earlier, and you were talking about this, of some type of scare event. We're all on pins and needles waiting for something to come out of left field. I mean, it totally looks like New York might, possibly prime for it. We're anticipating that, especially after the mayoral, election of some sort. What are your thoughts on that? If you have any insight on what some of the expectations are going to be, what we should expect, or we know it's going to be on U.S. soil. I think agree on that. There's going to be something that transpires or takes place.
I think it's going to be on everybody's soil, including ours. And I think it's the good guys against the bad guys, if you want to put it like that. First off, they're going to want to incite civil war. That's what their main goal will be. They'll, back in the day, people called it the Podesta plan, the deliberate plan to divide nations, like all nations. That is what is the blueprint for violent civil war in each area that will destabilize everything. It's all been orchestrated by the globalists in each country. But in ours, of course, it looks like, Brennan with, still running the CIA secretly, and Obama, whatever control he has had or whatever. But, they're still, it's like they're still encouraged. Now, some people will say, hey, man, it's a movie or whatever. That's fine. Anybody can say it. It's just right now I look at things and I say, I don't see where the military's in charge of something. I don't see that. People can say that all they want. I don't see it. I think we should question everything, and it's a crazy thing. But some people are remember the things that we've talked about forever, But the thing is each person's journey is a little different. Each person's journey is a little different, and that's okay, because it's a trip. It's a trip. And, like by Christmas, I think some really good things are going to happen in the background. I think that we should there's a big campaign about all the J6 stuff going on, with the grand conspiracy, that stuff. I look to hear some stuff about silver right now. I look for it to continue to go up, and maybe a big uptick this week and next and on through, so when that stuff starts happening, the things that we've said forever, hey, it's a trip. I look for us to see, like, what's his name said, up to 100 to 150 indictments, going on. That just know that when they do these indictments, they know something's going on. They know what's happening. They've got it if they do it. And the problem is these judges. So we've got to get the judges out of there. And that's just part of this. To get the judges out, you've got to see them making mistakes. You've got to be able to say, here's the evidence, especially when they got burn bags and they got everything else being messed up. But I like the way things are going. I like the way things are that I think are going in the background. I think that Hunter, his plea deals and all that stuff's fixing to be in trouble. You'll start hearing about that. I think that the Clintons, you're going to hear some stuff about the Clintons coming up right now. And that's where I'm at. I think that
with them rejecting and Trump rejecting everything from the auto pen, that's going to be amazing how that's going to be played in all this.
think about how big that is. I mean, that's huge, you know.
It's
freaking huge.
Oh man. But you know what? I figured we'll end the show with something like this to bring a smile on your face. At first, I didn't know what this was about, outside of seeing some crap on that flag there. But check this out.
See the walls be rising, John Biden. Singing all the scrap out of the ground.
Hey, it's sombrero.
Never fights the bush, they build it.
I like the song.
I just need a sombrero and a margarita and listen to that song and watch it all night long with them dudes getting hit with paintballs or whatever it was. What was it? Balloons with paint in it or something?
A balloon full of paint. I guess that's
yeah. Let that happen. I like it.
Good stuff. Anything final words or anything you'd like to leave with us, Warren? Anything?
This is a continuation of everything that's been going on. This is a continuation of the Rothschild funded operation from back in the 1700s, the 1760s by that Adam Weishaupt or whatever his freaking name is.
Did you say Weishaupt? Did you say Weishaupt?
Weishaupt or something like that.
Okay.
Well, okay. Origin of the Illuminati would be 1760. Adam Weishaupt, Jewish dude, converted to Catholicism. How do you say that?
Catholicism.
Yeah, Catholicism. Yeah. He became a priest. Allegedly, kind of defected at the kind of the behest of the House of Rothschild, and to organize the Illuminati. That's what his game was. So, and the biggest thing they wanted to do was the control of mass communication. It was vital in the directive and the way they wanted to shape public opinion. That's why I've always talked about the Smith-Mundt Act. The Smith-Mundt Act. We should be hearing about that. That's what Obama did in 2012. Those are things to be looking forward to when you start hearing people in the background talking about that a little more. That's it. Because what have they been doing? Lying, thieving, stealing. They lie with the media. They're all CIA owned by Israel. It just freaking is what it is. So they use aliases, for all of those businesses and things, Ford and freaking Coca-Cola and all the Israel businesses, Hershey's, they use other ones, multiple organizations for fronts. But they're trying to expose the things they want exposed and keep the things that we want exposed. So every war, beginning with the freaking French Revolution, was promoted and organized and funded by what a lot of people call the Illuminati from the 1760s. Well, is that what you call it now? I call it freaking Khazarian Mafia, whereas back before, let's say before World War I, you were getting, it was information that was handed right down from the Council on Foreign Relations. That's where all this comes from. So that's described as in America, the Illuminati's operational, presence in America. So, mass media plot, that's who you call the masterminds or whatever. So television, radio, any kind of press, and especially Hollywood. All right. That's what they want to do. All the TV channels. I mean, everything that you watch, that's why, okay, Lehman, Kuhn, Loeb, Goldman Sachs, all these freaking big names that own all these companies underneath them, and the apparent heads of the media are pretty much just fronts for freaking also the financiers of freaking everything. They're the ones that brought all these people in here, them and the SES, Senior Executive Services. So, along with the freaking State Department, the Pentagon, the White House, all have been brought in solely at first to manage the news. Everybody doesn't understand how big the news is. Everything that we think, everything we do has been programmed into us, and it's been called for a long time freaking psychological warfare. Don't let them get you. Don't let them get you, man. That is they're turning you into a liberal, and they hide behind liberals. They made this word up, liberal, because it's all of they're using the liberal people. They don't know what's going on up there, but they're using it. And these liberals are saying, oh, yeah, y'all. They don't even know what they're doing. They don't have any freaking clue. So I say, stay away from the satanic plot. If you let them get you down, if they cause you to be freaking mad and upset and for anything, problems with your day, problems with whatever, don't let them win, because that's what they're trying to do. That's how they win. That's how they separate the MAGA movement. And that's just all there is to it. That's all I got to say. Okay, bye.
All right, have a good one, man. See you. Another one in the box, folks. Appreciate you guys tuning in as you always do. Oh my goodness. Well, as we start wrapping up the show, I always like to explain to everyone, you ready for something different? Do you have a plan B? Are you not happy with your financial situation? It's time to change that. You want to get your appointment? Here it is. Text your first and last name to 877-776-6391. And if you're open, there's something out there that could radically change your life, not only financially, but also from a health standpoint. And we're doing it play by play, helping as many people as humanly possible. So if that's you and you can resonate with what I'm saying and you're looking for a plan B, and you're not happy with where you're at income-wise, you're not happy where you're at health-wise, here's your sign. Text your first and last name to 877-776-6391. We'll send you some information that you can go through, and it might be shocking, needless to say. God bless the Republic of the United States of America, and God bless you, patriots. Without you folks, there is no America or world for that matter. God bless, and we will see you tomorrow. Hi there, I'm Chaz Carter. Welcome to Patriot Shoot. If you're looking for a censorship-free platform where you can freely express your thoughts and connect with like-minded individuals, then you're in the right place. At Patriot Shoot, we offer more than just a membership. For just $8.99 per month, we provide you with daily intel, weekly giveaways, and access to our exclusive voice chat platform called Patriot Talk, where we have somewhere between 200 to 400 active members just on that alone, discussing a wide range of topics every single day. You'll gain access to our state groups where you can connect with members in your states at a grassroots level. Our community is all about open dialogue and sharing valuable information without the fear of being silenced. Whether it's discussing current events, giving advice, or personal matters, or simply connecting with others on Patriot Shoot, it is the place to be. So what are you waiting for? Join us today. Experience the freedom of speech and just fill out the form below and get started. We cannot wait to have you here with us, and welcome aboard.